We will call the July 10th, 2024 Village of Belleville Planning Commission to order at 6:01. Call the roll, please.
Chairperson Kazmarski.
Here.
Zerbesk.
Here.
Ziegler.
Here.
Larson.
Here.
Bells is absent. Enlow.
Here.
Butts. Okay. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Public participation. Are there any citizens to be heard on agenda and non-agenda items? Public may also comment during the public participation section of each item. Planning Commission shall make no decisions or consideration of actions or citizen comments for items not on the agenda, except to refer the matter to the village staff for administrative consideration or to schedule the matter for Planning Commission consideration at a later date. Anybody who would like to participate now or wait till there's a specific item? Hearing nothing, we'll move along. Consent agenda. For approval of the minutes from the May 8th Plan Commission meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the May 8th, 2024 Plan Commission meeting.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Right, chair report, I have none. Staff and consultant reports.
I have.
None? All right. We will move into item 7, public hearing. Colt Drive LLC has requested to amend the comprehensive plan future land use map for 321 James Avenue. Parcel number, I'll read it, to be changed from B-P Business Park to R-M multifamily residential. I will open the public hearing for the comprehensive plan amendment. Was the public hearing posted?
It was posted.
Any visitors wishing to speak on the public hearing? Okay. That's one more time. Anyone wishing to speak on the public hearing? And a third time, anyone wishing to speak on the public hearing? Hearing none, I will close the public hearing. That will move us into discussion and consideration of approval for resolution 2024-01, approving an amendment to the comprehensive plan for the Village of Belleville. Any discussion?
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution number 2024-01.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Number 9, we have a second public hearing item. Colt Drive LLC has submitted a rezoning application for 321 James Avenue to be changed from B-P Business Park to R-M multifamily residential. I will open the public hearing for the comprehensive plan amendment. Posted?
It was posted.
Outstanding. Any visitors wishing to speak on this public hearing item? Any members of the public wishing to speak on the public hearing? One last time, any members wishing to speak on the public hearing? All right, hearing none, I will close the public hearing. Discussion and consider approval on rezoning application for Colt Drive LLC for 321 James Avenue. It's from B-P Business Park to R-M multifamily. Any discussion? Is there a motion?
I will make a motion to approve the zoning application to, I don't see a number on that, so I'm gonna say
Here and
to rezone 321 James Avenue from BP Business Park to RM multifamily residential.
second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. All right. That moves us into new business. Discussion and consideration of the site plan application for Colt Drive LLC. Start with the MSA memo. Did everyone have a chance to look at that?
So your GEC memo is on your desk because we've attached. But your MSA should be attached to these agenda.
That's attached, just one.
Okay, I don't know.
Any input?
I mean, I had numerous comments. Most of them are basically grading related. Some of the retaining walls along the edges and stuff. They responded already, basically saying that they're gonna work on all those. They're basically willing to consider all those. There's nothing that I can let them speak, but there was nothing that stood out as far as just some more details. I mean, I thought there's quite a bit of site or planning put into the site. Overall, it looked pretty good. It's just some smaller details that I think it sounds like we can basically work through. I think is like, I guess you did have one higher retaining wall. You may be asking that going through a process on it. That was one item,
Great.
but that's a separate process than here, I think, or whatever.
Yeah, there's I'm sure you all know, significant amount of regional detention in that area that we had to go through a pretty heavy civil engineering exercise to maximize the site. I mean, we had a few internal meetings talking about expanding that additional parcel to make sure that we could get the highest and best use for Belleville and everyone out of this. So I think you hit the nail on the head. As we added those retaining walls, there's really just some fine points that need to be put on some of that stuff, and that'll all come out of the final construction drawings as those get completed. So the notes are all well taken. I think the engineer agreed and noted a number of these already, and there will be a variance. It says here, in the village ordinance to allow for greater than 6-foot high retaining wall for approximately a 20-foot section of wall to the north of building 1, simply because there's not enough room to terrace that wall based on the grading that is needing to be maintained for the regional detention basins. So that's it.
I think that was the only comment that you had for the variance that was on your responses, so.
Yes.
You said otherwise, I mean, I would recommend conditional approval. Like I said, there wasn't anything that I don't think we can't work through on the comments that we had.
Do we have any questions, comments, concerns? Looking at the site plan application, was there any concern with that?
This is Corey from General Engineering, the zoning administrator. So my memo didn't make the attachments to the agenda, but you have the report in front of you. So the only major comment I have is on the landscaping. So the zoning ordinance has minimum requirements based on a number of criteria for landscaping points. So they put a comprehensive landscape plan together, and, they can explain this too, but, the limited area on the site, by the stormwater areas and easement areas. But you can see from the landscaping plan, they tried to maximize what they could. They do have over 40 trees and 440 shrubs. So they're short on the points, but I think they did the best they can with what they had to work with.
Anybody have any questions
On the site plan or in general?
on the site plan?
Okay.
Same one as that.
No.
Okay.
I would just say we appreciate your comments and understanding on the landscaping. We spent a significant amount of time on that as well. We've seen across different municipalities, the point systems and scoring be a little bit different. Again, we have a ton of greenery and shrubs. It's just, there isn't much space because we can't plant in any of those detention pond areas. So we put trees where we could. I think on the east lot, we're going to be able to save that huge giant oak tree, which is fantastic, 2 of them. And I think it was one of those where the shrubs aren't worth a ton of points, but we've got greenery everywhere to try to maintain that, I guess, feel of we're still in nature, which we want residents to have.
And there's a lot of existing trees and shrubs already that's on.
The letter of intents. Any comments, questions, concerns with that from anyone? Not, let's talk about the site plan. Since that's where you want to go with that, Gary.
Well, that general question, there's no basements or elevators in these buildings, right?
Correct.
Two-story, correct?
A two-story, every unit is individual entry. Number of them have individual garages, and I believe part of the question is going to be around why no elevators for the step levels, with everything being individual entry on the first floor. That applies for ADA qualification B, whatever the state code is for that. So
I guess my bigger concern would be no basement, storm shelter, or some sort of design feature for occupant safety if we have a tornadic event.
There's water at 6 feet. There's a lot of water over there.
Yeah, no, and I'm fine with that, but I mean, there are other options or opportunities for, construction features that could still create a safer environment above grade, such as a safe room. Looking at some of the building construction standards that like Moore, Oklahoma uses. Not really tornado proofing, but
yeah,
tornado resistance. Their standard has been demonstrated to hold up to an EF3 tornado.
yeah. To be frank, that didn't ever really come up in any of the standard engineering and design. For a number of reasons, underground parking in basements just weren't feasible, either because of the water or financially. I'd be curious to know what some of those building standards are. That I'm guessing would end up being an increase in overall structure. So that would, from our side, frankly, be a concern as to whether or not that makes or breaks
For sure.
the ability of.
I guess I think it's on the forefront of my mind, and maybe Gary's being emergency management as we're on a record year in Wisconsin.
Wins a few weeks ago, right?
On a record year.
Yeah, somebody who dealt with February 8th tornadoes this year, that was my main thought on it is, as Chance mentioned, there are different construction standards, or you can build separate structures that are, shelters, that kind of stuff. Something to think of. I mean, I don't think I would vote no on this because it doesn't have it. And I understand why you're not putting basements in underground parking because, the water table over there is going to be, but
It's certainly something that we can bring up with Angus Young and just see if we can get their input on it.
Tangentially, are they gonna be sprinklered?
Yes.
And then looking at this, it looks like there's also gonna be some detached garages. Is that what I'm seeing also?
Yeah, the goal is to have at least one covered parking space for every unit.
Okay.
So a number of the units, so the two different building types that are there. There's a 20-unit building and a 12-unit building. The 12-unit buildings have one garage for each unit integrated. Again, to maximize the site, the 20-unit buildings have 8 integrated garages, so the remaining 12 units would have an attached garage. Again, we all know it sucks brush and snow off in the state of Wisconsin, so we want to make sure there's at least one.
And what's your target population? Age, this isn't senior housing, is it?
No, not at all. Based on what we feel is a high demand across all demographic bands in this general area, we don't have a hard and fast specific target demographic.
I will add to that we put in more 3 bedrooms than what a normal development may have, just listening to the school. That they were having a hard time hiring people because there wasn't housing for families, so we have 12 3 bedrooms in the project.
And a few of them to that end are more sizable than just about any of the 3 bedrooms being built right now. I think they're almost 1,500 square feet. So, yeah.
Anyone have any other questions, comments, concerns?
There's sufficient surface parking also for each unit to have.
Yeah, so the way that the site plan sits, each garage is set up to have then basically a parking stall right in front of the garage. So every garage with a parking stall in front of it. It's not covered, uncovered. I believe the site parking calcs are all on there.
They're more than what is required.
Yeah. And looking at frankly, comparable zoning requirements in other communities, we're probably over what some of the other zoning requirements sit at, and where we see some other developments that, but again, having too much or excess parking in a residential development is never going to be a problem.
And you've got an entrance on both the north and the south side on the west side, right? There's 2 entrances into that fourplex, or that should be.
Yeah.
There's an entrance, I'm not sure your question, Gary. There's an entrance.
Well, I'm thinking fire,
Yeah.
going into a
Into
big,
their units, yes.
into a big complex like that, having one entrance would not be good.
No, it's.
They both face Colt, though. There's
Yeah.
not one on, what's the road coming in, Belleville? Belleville
West.
Bell West. Yeah, there's no entrance on Bell West, but they're.
Yeah,
There's 2 for the ones on the west and 1 for
one
the
on, yeah.
single building.
Right.
A motion to push this to the board, so
I think the site approval conditioned on the board approving the ordinance for the rezoning on.
so it's still.
You're approved it unless it's approved unless the board chooses not to.
Take any other action.
Additionally, yeah,
Site plan.
Yeah, I'll move that we recommend the site plan with the contingencies listed on the MSA letter dated July 3rd and the GEC letter dated July 10th.
and the rezone,
And yes,
the ordinance. From the public hearing.
yes.
Take that, yes.
But you need a second.
We need a second, yes,
I'll second the motion.
thanks.
Sorry. Everybody else's. Any,
Other, or actually, my gosh. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, we'll move on to the next agenda item. Other new business is discussion and consideration site plan application for Seco America, am I pronouncing that right?
Yep.
You, MSA memo. Printed in front of you guys. Corey, anything to add to that?
No, they provided everything meets the ordinance. They're not providing any additional lighting, signage, or parking, as there's no additional employees.
Any comments, questions, concerns from the planning commission members on that? Any comments, questions, concerns on their application? Building plans. Anybody have concerns on that?
See, the only thing we talked, because we talked about this last time, was it the entrance? We were talking about making it a little bit wider or having it separated out in two, I don't remember. It was a while ago when we were talking
Yeah.
about this. Definitely.
Was that this one or was that something else?
I think it was this one.
The only comment I had came through me on the fire department side of it where we discussed, having a service road go all the way around. I didn't see a need to do that with the existing access. We've got access on the back to get to that dust collector. And then from the front,
We do have you will be able to drive around the building yet. Obviously, it might not be stable if it's really muddy or something, but should be able to drive around it as long as they don't have anything in the way there.
like, so my biggest concern from fire safety would just be that dust collection system. If you're gonna have a fire in a facility like that, that's where it happens. But that's accessible, so.
Yeah, should have an asphalt
Yep.
and concrete to that, and I think the hydrant is right on maybe there.
Anything else from anyone? Civil plans, any concerns? Concerns with the letter of intent? None. Any concerns with their stormwater management plan?
Nope. I had a couple comments on the letter, but it was basically just verifying some elevations. They've seen the comments and they've got no real issues there either. So it's very minor.
And any concerns with the landscaping plan?
No, they meet the minimum points.
Any other comments, questions, concerns with this item on the agenda? There are none. I would entertain a motion to recommend approving this or pushing this on to the village board.
I'll make a motion to recommend approval for the site plan application for Seco America Incorporated.
Second.
All in favor, signify by.
Do we want to add the contingencies in the letter, just so they make sure they get taken care of?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll be able, what amendment?
I can-
I'll second.
Yeah, either way.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to amend my original motion to include the contingencies.
Okay, sorry. Amend the motion.
During the amended motion, do we have a second?
That's the thing before you motion.
Yeah. Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? That.
The
Amended.
the amendment has passed.
The amendment is passed and carried.
Why don't you like that?
Well, just start typing.
Messed up her flow.
My minutes were so pretty. I'm kidding. Okay.
Anyone else?
I'm sorry, who seconded the amendment?
Mike seconded the.
Okay, you seconded the original motion as well, Mike? Thank you.
Does anyone else have any other new business?
Okay.
If not, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Just motion.
Wait, so they amended the motion, but we need to actually.
Oh my gosh.
We need to pass the motion. This is the other reason why it's complicated.
All those in favor of signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Andrew Roberts.
Hearing none, hearing no other new business, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second that.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. That's 27.
I've ever been to, and it's not